Hey there my foodies, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, welcome to my channel. If you enjoy and like my content, do hit that thumbs up button below, and of course if you haven't subscribed to my channel as yet, do go ahead and hit the subscribe button so you get notified every time I post a new video. So for today's recipe, I'm going to be making a quick and simple peach pie my way. So join me in the kitchen today and let me show you guys how I make this beautiful pie that can be added to your holiday table, whether it be for Thanksgiving or just a regular holiday dinner that you're hosting for your family and friends. It's a perfect addition as a very delicious dessert. So with all that being said, let's get right into the video. Alright, so for my peach pie, I'm going to be making my crust from scratch, and I wanted to show you guys the correct way to measure your flour when you're making pie crust, or actually anything that requires measuring your flour. So this is my flour jar that I have here, and my flour has been sitting here, of course, every day. It's in a very dense state. What I want to do is just take a whisk or a spoon just like this and fluff it up a bit so that I can wake it up. And what I'm going to do is just take spoonfuls and fill up my measuring cup here. This is my 1 cup measuring cup. And for this recipe for the peach pie, I'm going to be using 3 cups of flour. I went ahead and measured 2 cups already, but I just wanted to show you guys the final cup so that you do it correctly. And what you want to do is just fill it up and take your spoon and level it off just like this. Put it in your bowl, and that's the correct way to measure your flour. If you guys ever wanted to know why when you make flour recipes it doesn't come out quite right, like something's dry, something's wrong, it's because we're not measuring our flour correctly. So I hope you guys took that as a good tip for your future recipes when you're gonna make them. Now that I have my flour in my mixing bowl here, I'm just gonna spread it out. To this I will add 2 tablespoons of sugar, white sugar preferably, a half a teaspoon of nutmeg for some added flavor, and half a teaspoon of salt. I'll give this a whisk. You can go in with any type of warm spices that you like to put in your pie crust or what you like to eat in your pie. I just like to use the nutmeg alone, and everything else I'll put it in my peach filling. Now that this is nice and mixed in, I'm going to be grabbing my butter from the fridge. Here I have my butter. It's nice and rock hard. I had it in the fridge. This is 2 sticks of butter, which is equivalent to 1 cup. I went ahead and cubed it and put it back in the fridge until I needed it because I want it to be as cold as possible. I'm just going to go in and add all of this in here. And what I want to do is go in with my clean hands, and I want to massage the butter into the flour and break it up. Okay, I have my butter nice and worked into my flour. It's okay if you have like little tiny lumps of butter. It'll mix in when you're gonna add your liquid, but as long as most of it's working and it's looking like this, nice crumbly texture, you're good to go. All right, I have my water here. I'm using about a half a cup of ice cold water. I may or may not need more, or you may or may not need more. It just depends on the temperature you're making this in, the flour you're using and stuff. I'll go in with about a 1/4 cup at first, and I just want to pull the dough together. No kneading. If you knead this, you're going to develop the glutens in the flour, and your pie crust is going to be very like stiff and hard. I'm going to go in with the remaining 1/4 cup and just pull and make sure that I don't have any more dry flour. Okay, this is about as much as I want to do here. I have my silicone mat. I'm gonna just take everything out of my mixing bowl and put it here so that I can further press it together. All right, what I want to do here is just press this together just like this. Take some from the other side here and press it down. It might look like it's not coming together, but it will come together. So I'll continue doing this and I'll show you what it's looking like after I'm done pressing it. All right, my dough came together really good. After pressing it, this is what it should look like. It should be able to hold its shape and not fall apart. I'm not gonna do any more than this because when I'm gonna roll it out, that'll also bring it together. I'm gonna divide my dough into 2 equal pieces because one is going to be for the bottom of my pie and one is going to be at the top to decorate my pie. So look at this. Look at all those layers that you have here. That's a really good sign that your pie crust is coming along really well. To wrap my pie crust, I just have some cling wrap here. You want to make sure you give this a nice tight wrap so that moisture does not get into it. I have my other piece here. Okay, I have my 2 pieces here. I'm going to put this in my fridge for about 40 minutes so that it can get nice and cold once again. And then I'm going to take it out and we'll start making our peach filling. So I'll see. Okay, foodies, I'm back. I took my pie crust out of the fridge so that it can come up to room temperature and get nice and soft, so when I'm ready to roll it out, it's not going to give me a hard time. I'm going to set that aside. In the meantime that is coming up to room temperature, I need to make my peach filling. So here I have 2 29-ounce canned peaches. This is the brand that I like to use. It's the Del Monte quality sliced peaches. It says yellow cling peaches in heavy syrup. I like to use this because it bakes very well. I've tried fresh peaches before. For some reason, I can't get it right with the fresh peaches. If you can get it right with the fresh peaches, definitely go ahead and use that if that's what you like to do. But I'm going to use the canned peaches today. To my canned peaches, I'm going to add a 1/4 cup of brown sugar. Brown sugar works best for this because when it bakes, it caramelizes really good. I have 1 tablespoon of maple syrup, 2 tablespoons of vanilla extract, 1 teaspoon of grated nutmeg, and 1 teaspoon of ground cinnamon. I'm gonna go ahead and just give this a nice mix and make sure I have everything nice and distributed here. And for the canned peaches, you want to drain it very, very well because you don't want any additional syrup other than what's going to be created by the brown sugar in your pie. You're going to end up having a soggy crust if you have too much liquid in there. Okay, I have this nice and mixed in now. I'll set this aside and let's start rolling out our pie crust. To roll out my pie crust, I'm going to go in with a decent sprinkle of flour because I don't want this to stick in any way and create cracks and stuff and give me a hard time. So I like to go in with a generous amount of flour here. And I'm going to try to push this in and start creating a circular shape so that when I roll it out, it becomes circular. I'm going to apply some flour to my rolling pin as well because I don't want that to stick either. I'm going to go in and roll this out into a nice thin circular disc. I'm using a 10-inch pie crust pan today, so I'm going for that width in my circle. If you have cracks and stuff like this, that's okay. Just pinch it together and it'll come back. Okay, I have my pie crust nice and rolled out here. It's okay if it's not in a circle because the excess is going to be cut off anyways. What I want to do is make sure it's not sticking and it releases really well from the mat. That is good. I'm going to take my rolling pin and just roll it onto it so that I can put it over to my pie pan here really easily. Just like that. What I'm doing here, I'm just taking the excess, raising it up, and I'm just lightly patting down so that I can create a nice shape with the pie crust and have it mold to my pie pan. Okay, this is good for me. Any folds like this, just press it down with your fingers and it should be fine. I'm going to put my peach filling in now. just like that. That is good. Let me give my hands a wash and we'll do the top part of the pie crust. Okay, this is nice and rolled out. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna cut some strips and I'm going to put it on top of my pie crust like in a basket type pattern. To cut my strips, I got this nice pastry cutter. If you don't have this, you can just use a scissors, a knife, whatever you have, use that. So I'm gonna go ahead and start rolling my strips out. Okay, I have all of my strips cut here. As you can see, it created a really nice, like, ribbed pattern on the edges. What I'm gonna do, I'll pick my strips up and make sure that they're not sticking to each other, and I'm just gonna put them to the side here. I'll take my first strip. I took the center strip and I'm gonna put that down. I'm gonna take another strip like this. I have my first layer of strips here, and now what I need to do is put the rest horizontally, and I need to weave it in. So to do that, I'm gonna start in the middle. So I put this one down first. I'm going to raise this one up and put it over it back again, just like that. And I'm going to alternate. So this one, it goes under, this one, it goes over, this one, it goes under, and this one, it goes over. Over, under, over, and under. Okay, this is what my pie is looking like. This is a design that I want to use today for baking this. You can use any design that you like. So this is looking really good here. I'm going to leave a clean edge. That's how I like to have mine, because we don't like a heavy crust on the edge of our pies. I need to prepare an egg wash, so let's start doing that. For my egg wash here, I just have 1 cracked egg, and I added about a tablespoon of water. I'm just gonna go ahead and beat that up. My egg wash is done. I'm gonna go ahead and just base the top of my pie crust. This allows the pie crust to bake nice and golden brown, and it gives that nice sheen that sometimes you see on pies. It's from an egg wash. So I'm just gonna go lightly, not too heavy, and base the top here. Okay, my pie is nice and basted. I think I would have covered every single dry spot that I possibly could see. That's what you want to do. Go in and get all the dry spots so that it doesn't come out looking matte. I have my oven preheated at 425 degrees. I'm going to put this into bake for about 40 to 50 minutes, depending on how long the crust takes to get brown. If you notice when you're making your pie at maybe like the 30-minute mark, the edges are starting to get brown, just cover it with some foil and put it back in the oven. If I have to do that, I'll show you guys how I do it so you can see how you can also do it to protect your pie from burning. So I'm gonna put this in the oven now, and I'll come back and show you if I need to cover it. If not, I'll come back when it's completely finished. Okay guys, so remember earlier what I was telling you, if your edges start to get brown, this is about 30 minutes in for my pie and the edges are starting to get brown. I do not want them to get more brown than this because they're gonna start to burn very easily. This is the trick that I was telling you about with the foil wrap. And also I put my pie dish in a pan so that when I'm ready to take it out, it's gonna be much easier for me to take it out. I'm gonna go in with this, just like this, and create a dome. And I'm just gonna fold the foil over and protect the ends. So this is what the dome is looking like. It's gonna protect my edges from burning because I'm satisfied with how brown it is right now. And just where it's exposed, which is mostly like from 1 inch to the center, is what's gonna continue to get brown. So I'm gonna put this back in the oven. I'll let it go for maybe another 20 to 30. Guys, this is what my pie is looking like. It's finished baking. I went ahead and removed the tin foil. I'm gonna allow this to cool down completely before I can cut into it, because if I only cut into it right now, it's going to be a hot mess and all of that syrup is gonna fall everywhere. So I'll let it cool down and then I'll cut a slice out and show you how it's looking on the inside. Okay, so it's finally time for me to cut into this pie. As you can see, the knife is going through really easily and that crust is so flaky. I'm gonna go ahead and put a slice over in a bowl that I have there, and I'm gonna put a nice scoop of ice cream on top. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, do give it a thumbs up at the bottom and subscribe to my channel if you haven't subscribed as yet. You can follow me on TikTok and Instagram at I'mAFoodieGirl_94. I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye.